Howdy everybody, welcome back once again. Today we'll be covering widgets a little bit, and I think most of it was pretty well covered in the overview, but we're going to do a little bit of learning today and fun stuff like that. So go into your widgets folder, go down to your master widget, and I'm going to explain a couple of these in more detail. It's pretty repetitive. This area right here is where you're going to set everything. It's at the very beginning of the event construct, and then after this spot where it sets the player reference, it's going to go through every single widget in the game, and they're all set the same way with the exception of 3, which we'll go over a little bit later. So this is setting the start menu, it is setting the start game button, and it's setting the text color, the button color, and it's setting it with the master image for the button. It's doing the same with the load game button and start menu text and color. Right here it's setting your background image and opacity, widget's background image, and it goes through every single widget and does the same thing. And at the end of these blocks of code, or blueprints, you'll find special events called continue loading widgets. These special events always show up on the next block to continue loading widgets. It's pulling from the player reference, in this case it's getting the player menu, and it's setting the quest log buttons and the status buttons and stuff like that. So the one that's different is this one right here. This is setting actual variables on the player, not as a whole widget, but as an actual piece of information for the player to store when they open up the quest menu and quest buttons. In the quest giver widgets, you can find those variations right here in the quest log button. Right here, it's pulling from the player reference and it's setting the button color and opacity and the style, which is the image, and the color. The other spot you can find that exception is where it's being set from the player to the quest screen, where it will be setting the background images. Right here, off of the sequence node, it'll go down, grab a reference to the player, and grab the quest screen background and set the images, which do need to be renamed. I haven't gone through all the widgets and renamed them yet. And the other one is the quest button, which is going to function the same way as the info button in regards to setting the variables from the player reference. Those variables are stored on the player, of course, so you can find them in third-person character, your BP player blueprints. Scroll down on the left-hand side. That needs to be added up to widgets. And scroll down to modular widget variables, and that's where all those variables will be stored. So I've kind of been stewing on this. The project actually began as the compile, save, That's a very strange error. Okay, sorry for the pause there. I jumped back into my level, and I had to do some problem solving. I feel like a goofball. Turns out I had 2 projects open, and that's why it wouldn't save. So we went over the master widget, and we went over the quest giver widgets, and I think for this project it would look a lot better if instead of it saying main menu there, I had my game logo. That would look so much cooler. So let's dive into that right quick. And let's see, in images, game logos. Cool, I reverted everything just for this tutorial. And so in your images folder, in RPG Kit, go to your images, right click, and create a new folder. Name it whatever you want. I've named this one Game Logos. Next, don't mind my horrid screen there. And this project's name is Horse Creek. Hoarscreek. Then just drag and drop it into your folder to import it. If it's a PNG, the background's going to be a random color until you right-click on your logo, go up to Sprite Actions, and apply Paper 2D Texture Settings. And now it should have a transparent background. F2 to rename. This is going to be Horse Creek logo. So now I want that to show on my main menu widget instead of this. So let's cover that right quick. Let's go into our RPG Kit, our widgets folder, and scroll up to common widgets. This is a common widget, it's a start menu, so it's under common widgets. Double click start menu to open that up. Now this has already been fixed in the template that's ready to ship, but I'm going to do it right here just so everybody can learn if you're more a visual learner, etc. Go up to the top left canvas panel, go up to the top left palette and look for canvas panel. Not can-kiss, canvas. Drag it onto your screen. Now the background image here, if you want it the same size, it's easier if you round it off. So this is going to be 534 by 698. 698. Now highlight your canvas panel. Again, you don't have to do all this. It's already been fixed in the template that's ready to be shipped. 534, 698. 534, 698. So what I'm doing this for is because I want to be able to grab this canvas panel and move everything in this around. I don't want to have to highlight each thing individually by holding Control and left-clicking to move everything around. I want it to all be parented to this canvas panel, so it's simple and straightforward. So in order to parent it to this canvas panel, we're going to grab our Start Game button and go all the way down, hold down Shift and left-click on Start Menu Text. And then we're going to go back to the Start Game button and drag it down onto that canvas panel. Now we can highlight the canvas panel and pull it all back over to where it was. But you'll notice it's kind of janky. So on the Start Game button, grab your Start Game text and parent it to Start Game button. Next, you'll want to do the same with the Load Game. Parent that text to the Load Game button. Next, you'll want to get the Resume Game text, parent it to the Resume Game button. Next, you'll want the Quit Game text, and to parent it to the Quit Game button. With the background image, you can just drag it up here, and on the right hand side you'll notice anchors. On the anchors, since it's parented to the canvas panel, we can make it cover the whole thing by parenting it with the big one, parent to the child to parent, and then on the offset you want 0, on the offset bottom you want 0, offset top left, offset top right, it should all be 0. And now it's exact with your canvas panel. Next, highlight the Start Game button, Control, left click the Load Game button, Resume Game button, and Quit Game button. All the text with these are going to move with it because they're parented to the buttons. And last but not least, highlight all of them again, and we want those parented to the middle of that canvas panel. Next, grab the text block button and move it just above. So now we've learned how to parent everything and move it as one, but that doesn't do much good because I want my logo on there instead of it saying Start Menu. So, compile and save. And now let's grab an image. Drag it onto your canvas panel so it's parented. And with your image 100 selected, let's move that all the way up here for now. Adjust the size to your liking. And we want it parented to the top middle, so it's always just above the Start menu. So now we can move it with our canvas panel. Everything is fine and well, but there's no image. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can go to Image and find your image here, and it will show up. Oops, that's not an image. And now your image will show up here. But I want, say I'm going to change my logo a lot. So I want that parented into, I want that tied into the modular widget system. So this is how you do that. I'm going to clear this out because it's not needed. And I'm going to set the Z order to -1 so it shows behind everything. Imagine it as 1 is closest to you and -1 is further away, and they're showing up in a order like that. +1 is going to be closer towards you. This is -1. The text block is still showing, but that doesn't matter. We're going to fix that. And with your image highlighted, go up here to the top right and name it game logo, or whatever you want, and make sure that it is a variable. Compile and save. Now we're going to go into our master widget. In the widgets folder, scroll down and open up master widget. Go to your graph, and we want grab this button, master image. Grab this button, master image, and duplicate it. Or Control D. Let's rename it to game logo image. Compile, save, go down, and we actually don't want the button master image, so delete that. We want a background image. Load screen, background image. Right click on that and duplicate it. This one is going to be game logo image. I don't know why it's doing that. Compile, save. There it is. Right now it's blank. We'll just leave it like that for now. Next we want to go to our start menu. Right here. This is where all of our start menu stuff is. We want to grab that game logo image and get. Next we want to take our background image and opacity, highlight it, and you can copy and paste with Control Z and Control V, or you can keep it highlighted and come down here and hit Control D for duplicate. We don't want the widget background image. We're going to plug it into this last one. And next we need a player reference to grab our start menu. It's easiest to find your player reference on the browser on the top left and drag it right out onto the screen. Plug this in. Oops. Get start menu. The next thing we need is get game logo. This is the variable, the image that we just made on the start menu. Then you just plug it in like this. And now it's hardwired into the start menu. So when we play, we're still going to see the start menu text because it's set right here. The next thing that we want to do is get rid of it. We don't want any text. And the last thing that we want to do is we want to grab our game logo image and set it. You can do it this way, or you can do it by dragging it onto the event construct. Grab your game logo image. Now you can add your image itself. This was the Horse Creek logo. Compile and save. So to recap what we did, we created a variable that's going to hold an image. We set it at the beginning of the event construct, so we set it, it's a set variable. We got rid of the start menu text right here, and then we added a variable, we added the reference to the image on the start menu with a set brush and a set opacity. Just like that. Not the cleanest work, but it's functional. Compile and save. And while we're in here, I think it would be more fitting for my game to have green buttons. So let's change the look of the game right quick with the button master image. Find a nice ruby green, compile, and save. Now when we hit play, it looks exactly how it should. It's self-explanatory, it's a start menu. Looks like a whole game. And just because I want to, let's look for our HUD right here. Health bar color, hotbar image, stats background image. So we want to change our stats background image. We are setting widget background, health bar, stats background image right here. And I'm gonna go with this green. That is not too bad. I don't think I like that. I might be using an asset pack to add some better art, but now we know how to navigate the modular widget system. We know how to add images to other widgets that are also modular, and we know basically everything we might need to know to modify the system. And again, I've been stewing in this for quite a while. I don't know where a beginner would need to start at, so as soon as I get some feedback, there will be some tutorials very promptly sent out. So I hope that covers it. I hope your game is coming along very well, and I can't wait to see what you're building. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. We're entering the final section. Finally, we're going into interactables and potions and stuff like that. So I'll see y'all then.